G'day. Today I'm going to be having a look at my reverse camera in my Lexus IS200. A little while ago, somebody decided to rearrange the back of my Lexus. The car was fixed under the insurance policy, but as a result of the accident, the reverse camera was never repaired. And because this is an aftermarket fitted item, despite the company saying that they'd get an auto electrician out to have a look at it and see if they could fix it, it was never actually rectified. It's worth fixing because the IS200 actually has pretty poor rear visibility. I do have an aftermarket Kenwood stereo in here, and it has inputs for more than one camera. Actually, you can put a camera on the front as well as the rear, but I've only ever had a camera on the rear. After my recent accident, reverse camera hasn't been working. I'm going to have a look now and see if I can fix it. Rather than mess around with the unknown condition of that technology, I've already bought a new reverse camera and I'll just go ahead and install that straight in. Just going to pop all these scrivets out now and remove that inner lining. Trace the wire of that. This trim here has to come off to access the little spot where the wire comes through there. The nuts for that are here and here. There are also two more nuts for the lock mechanism here and here on the other side. And you can see there, this locking mechanism stopped working ever since the car came back from the panel beaters as well. So I'll fix that while I'm in here. This should just pop out now. That wire there was jammed and crimped and squished under the locking mechanism. I think that's why the camera had stopped working. Initially it was a breakdown in signal and eventually completely stopped working altogether. So I think when the panel beaters have put it back together, they've just squished that wire and that was it, lights out. For the reverse camera, I'm going to replace that signal wire all the way from the dashboard to the boot lid, and largely that's a pretty simple task which can be achieved by removing the head unit, the glove box, a couple of trims down the inside of the door, including the inside door rubber here. And what I'm hoping to get away with is to pull the cable through past the C-pillar without having to remove the back seat and the C-pillar trim. If that all goes to plan, then the installation will be nice and easy. Here's the end of the old cable, and this is the end here that needs to pull through. So you can see it's got a fair chunkiness to it. There's also this other beefy bit here, so it could be a bit interesting, but I'm going to see how it goes. I'm just going to tape them in an overlapped way like that. See if I can get some joy. I can hear it feeling like it wants to jam up on something, and around here this is just looped up in here, so give it a little wriggle, being gentle. Look at that. That is a beautiful sight. Is the hard bit done? Here's the new camera. You can see there they've got this nice smart little connector there, which means this cable is much more easily serviceable than the old cable. The obvious thing to do would be to plug this in and actually check that the camera works and activates inside the cabin. I'm going to do that now. Right, I have a signal. I can start putting things back together. I'm going to crimp my reverse signal wire. Do both of those. So crimp those, activate a quick check. I've got a signal, yes. The IS200 has a cable to operate the boot release inside the car, and then it has a electric system to operate the boot release from outside the car. And it's the one from inside the car that hasn't been working since the car went to the panel beaters. I think putting it back together correctly must have gone into the too hard basket, because as you can see here, this return spring hasn't been correctly fitted, and this lever here looks to me like it's been installed on the wrong side of the operating mechanism, so it's not actually pulling the mechanism open. So I'm going to have a little try at fixing that as well while I'm in here. Favourite tool alert. Here's my handmade spark plug pick coming into action again, and I have no doubt that will fix my problem there. Alright, to put this thing back together. I'm going to run that new wire down the inside of the door rubbers. There's plenty of snags along here which would be easy to wreck the wire on in those little sharp parts there. So I'm going to keep the wire well under those. I'm going to get it right under that plastic bit there. There you go. These actually go back in there. Alright, I'm going to continue that mission along the passenger side of the car here. Once again, pulling that wire under the plastic all the way up there. You do a job like this, particularly when you're working on a small car, you end up with plenty of excess wire. It's a mission to try and neatly strap it in position in a way that doesn't end up with it being compromised, and also being able to tie it up so that it doesn't rattle like all heck as everything settles into position, in the interest of keeping it, all of that mess, as accessible of a spot as possible. I'll try and loop some wire up in front of the glove box where they can be easily managed. It's nice and easy to get back to make any adjustments and that kind of thing. I'm just going to work on that now. It's a bit hard for me to do this on camera, so I'm just going to do this off camera. It's pretty boring anyway. Alright, there's the wires now that they're hooked up, tied off. I'm just going to come and trim the tails of those tie wraps. There's quite a bit of aftermarket wiring in there. A lot of that is for the cruise control system. I'll link a video to that up there somewhere. That's it. I've got my reverse camera working again. It's another Saturday gone, and one job out of 3 that I told myself I was going to do when I got up this morning. The next thing I'll be doing is a gas strut lift system on my bonnet. So we'll see how that goes in an upcoming video. Until then, see ya.